But I have a question. How many of you really want to walk together as one? We got some work to do. Because a lot of us have a big yes, but. Sure, let's walk together with the people we like and understand and care for and know. They may be a little quirky, but still, I understand and know them. But I don't want to walk with those people because either I don't understand them, I don't like their behavior, I don't. So I want to walk with one, but not them. The number one thing we do that separates us from the good at hand. Now you heard in our song and in our beautiful reading from Barbara this morning, it's the thread of love that unites us all. The one common thread we have that sews all of life together is the law of love. It's a law. But just like in our human experience, we can choose to follow the law or we can break it. And when we break it, we get in trouble. That's when the separation happens. That's when we fall apart. That's when things crumble down. And that's when we're not walking together in that truth we think we stand for. That's when the big, well, yes, but you don't know what I have to deal with. Jesus said, "Judge not, lest ye be judged." You know, it was the law of attraction that we heard so much about a while ago. That the law of attraction, well, I can get whatever I want. But it's not about getting what you want. What we're attracting is not what we want. It's who we are. So the work begins on making sure our vibration is in alignment with all that is good and true and right. When we talk about weaving it all together, it's not weaving it this way first. It's weaving it this way. Connecting with that power greater than we are for us to use, the power of love and goodness. We have everything we need right now. There's nothing we need, but we can choose again because we're at free will to accept our goodness and embrace the blessings we have, even if they don't look exactly like we want. You know what I mean by that. Even if they don't look that way, we can still embrace them and recognize there's an unrealized potential in everything. We don't live in a static world. The world is ever changing and evolving. The question is, are you? Am I? Ernest Holmes said, "An evolved soul judges no one." Well, before I ask you how evolved are you, I'll give you a little test. Oh, the tangle webs we weave. When we practice, we start to practice to deceive. To deceive. And let me tell you, all of us are deceiving ourselves in some way or another. All of us are pretending that we're not as brilliant and wonderful and filled with the possibilities that we are. We're deceiving ourselves thinking we're not packaged exactly as we call to be packaged in this lifetime, in this world, to learn what we need to learn for our soul to grow and evolve, because we're all going the same place. When we judge, we hold ourselves back, and it's just going to take us a lot longer than those who realize we are one. When we sing, I saw beautiful Gretchen up here singing, "God is, I am." Beautiful. I mean, much better than that just came out, but beautiful, and her backup singers. And I can imagine what we're going to hear when you walk out the doors. You can feel that here in community, but when we leave, that old programming starts back up. Do you know what I mean? That old practice habit programming gets all caught up and we start judging life again. You know, when we're living in an us and them world, we're really not doing our part to create a world that works for everyone. When there's us and others out there, just because they do it differently or not our way, when they're wrong and we're right, we think, oh, Here I am, whole, perfect, and complete. We can't live in wholeness and be judging. Because wholeness means all of it. All of it. So we can't shove something out of our love and our caring. Doesn't mean we have to spend all our time with them. Thank God for that. But it does mean they deserve the truth of who we are, that thread, that law of love to be shared. So we can judge ourselves, and then we're not walking hand in hand. We can judge others and judge ourselves and walk hand in hand. And believe me, when we're not loving ourselves, it's just not possible to love others because we can't give more than we have. At the oral practitioner panel this week, it was so good. And we had 8 of our practitioners there, and then we had our licensed practitioners that came to support. We had several of those and practitioners, and so we had lots of people there, and other practitioners from other centers were also paneling, and I was the lead minister on several panels. And one of the most profound things I heard that day came from a woman sitting across from us, from the panel. And one of the things we ask is well, what's a significant demonstration you've had in your life? We want to make sure that these practitioners understand about prayer and demonstration. And this woman sat there and she said, absolutely, without question, the most profound and powerful demonstration I've had is I've learned to love myself, and my entire life has changed. When we start there, because it seems overwhelming, well, how do I learn to love all these people that I have not loved for so long, and the walls are so thick? We start right here. We start right here and start loving ourselves unconditionally, without judging. And if judgment is just part of this human experience. When we have human eyes looking at this human experience, we will judge things, but it's about not holding on and making it the truth of who you are. So there's one beautiful practice for you right now, is to start loving yourself beyond measure. Another way that we don't walk hand in hand fully is when we limit ourselves. We limit ourselves. We hold back. We don't live in a static world. We're here to grow and evolve, but we hold back because it's safe, and even though it's really uncomfortable, it's comfortable here. And there's a story, a Sioux legend, and it's called The Woman in the Cave. And it's about the West Mountains in Arkansas that has a magical, mystical cave. And in that cave live an old woman and an old dog. And they've lived there for generations. And in that cave, what the old woman is doing, well, she actually has never aged further than this point. At least that's what everyone says. And neither has the dog. They've stayed that age. And she has a rug that she is weaving. And she has gone into the forest and gathered all these beautiful pine needles. And she's weaving this rug out of pine needles from the forest. But there's something else. The woman has a big pot of soup at the mouth of her cave, and it's on a fire, and the dog sits over in the corner, napping most of the time, but you don't see the little slits of his eyes are opening. He's always watching the old woman. And as soon as she gets up to stir the soup, the dog stealthily goes up to the rug and unravels what she's done. Sometimes more than what she's done, and sometimes just the same amount. And the old woman comes back and patiently reweaves the rug. But you know what happens? The soup needs to be stirred again and again and again. And so the dog comes out and unravels it, and she patiently keeps weaving and weaving and weaving. But the rug doesn't get any bigger. And it's said in Sioux legend that this is a good thing, because once the rug is finished, the world they knew would not be the same. I don't know about you, but I don't want the world to be the same. I have a deep desire in me that we are helping the world create a new world. As we let go of old misunderstandings and judgments and limitations, then we can create a world that really does work. How many of you want the world to stay the same? Well, I know some of you have your fingers crossed, but I get it. We just have to become very aware if the habits we're creating. You know, at first when I read that story, I got really mad at the dog. What a little stinker. Well, that must be from my home experience and my dogs, but I started looking at this story a little more, a little deeper. And I realized that this woman just liked things the way they were, the comfort of knowing what she was going to do. She didn't teach or train her dog to be different. She didn't lift the rug when she moved. She had habits that she'd rather keep than creating something different. So today for us, I think it's about really looking at the habits we have in life. The habit of reacting to things, the habit of limiting ourselves and standing back, the habit of not taking risks and doing something more. What are the habits that you and I have that keep us not teaching, speaking, and living into the unrealized potential that forever is calling us to something more? What are the habits we have? And just start being aware of them and loving yourself enough to be aware of them. Because we're really good at separating things and not looking at things. But when we become aware and conscious, we can start realizing, oh my gosh, this is something I need to work on. And we can keep evolving or not. We can be weaving a world of love and peace or not. We can be tearing apart the love and peace. We can be throwing fuel onto the separation instead of the joy and love that we think we profess. It's our choice. But as soon as we get conscious and aware, as soon as we wake up and say, I really want things to be different, then we start our spiritual practice. Because I guarantee you, just like I loved in your reading that take care of the bodies that we've been given, that's the home, the temple of our soul. We have to work to keep our body healthy. We have to work to keep our spirit open and active and connected to the good that's always at hand. It's for you and me to decide how we want to use this one gorgeous, beautiful life that we've been given. I'm going to tell you something that might, if you're not sure you want to activate anything new yet, this stuff isn't new. Every great master believed in unity and believed in the law of love and kindness and goodness. Every one of them, back as far as you can think. Lao Tzu, who wrote the Tao Te Ching, he wrote about how do we get everything we want in the world? Well, it wasn't from getting the things we want. It was from having reverence for all life. Being gentle with ourselves and with life, having a natural sincerity to be honest and truthful to ourselves and others. This is at least 2,500 years old. Are we getting it yet? Are we getting it yet? Well, 2 of us are. That's really good. So the 2, because remember, what we put out there, we lift up. We got to help each other. Remember, when you see somebody looking down on themselves, it's not about, oh, you're down on yourself. That's bad. It's, oh my gosh, let's remember who you are. Let's remember who you are, the truth of your being. Hafez, a 13th century Sufi mystic, said, even after all these years, the sun has never said to the earth, you owe me. Never said that. Never said, look how long I've shined on you, you owe me. It just shines because it shines. And it finds joy and love in shining and spreading light. Can you imagine what a light like that would do? it would light the whole world. And that's what we get to do. When we really own the essence of who we are and love ourselves as kooky and crazy as we are, we get to light the world with that vibration of our love. And that, to me, is the true meaning of the law of attraction. When we get to light the world, Jesus knew this. He said, always before he did his miracle things, when he broke the bread, wine into water, he blessed what he had at hand. Are you getting that? Didn't want something more. Didn't say, God, you better make more right here, right now. I need this. He blessed what he had. He said, thank you for what's here. And then he believed in the power of the law of mind. He believed in the law of love. He knew that the miracle would happen because he believed. Where in your life right now is your heart, your mind telling you you need to expand your belief in the good that's ever present? Where in your life do you need to understand there's always more than what we see with our eyes? There's always more than what we hear with our outer ears. The truth comes from a place deep within. Where do I need to expand my vision, my hearing, my whatever it is, to really say thank you, God, for this world that I live in, for this life I have? Where? When? When do you need to start believing so we all can be that light in the world? Like I said, we're all going to the same place. Some of us are just going to get there sooner than the others because we believe in who we are and what we're doing. And we know we're here not only to make our lives more joyful, loving, peaceful, tranquil, but also to help others do the same. So let's just close in a little prayer right now. So as I say, we've just untangle yourselves to be open to receptive to the good that's already at hand, welcoming and knowing in this moment the presence and essence of God is infinite everywhere, always. And that God that we know is infinite, unconditional love. It is the possibility of ever-evolving life, unrealized potential. It is the possibility of healing and knowing that right where we are, the good is happening if we open to it in this moment. So the truth I know for each and every one of us right here, right now, is that we open to the thought and the thinking that everything we need we have right now, and we bless it. We say thank you, God, for all the good that's present in this moment. Thank you for all the love that's possible, the healing that's possible right here, right now. And as we fill ourselves to the brim with overflowing, we bless and share that knowing with the life before us. We share it right here and right now. And I simply invite us in this moment, in this quiet moment, just to think in your life, where can you share your light to people you love, to things you love, to the difficult ones in your life, to the difficult experiences in your life. To send blessings to it all, knowing it's all come by divine appointment. And it's in this place, filled to overflowing with the good that's present. We say thank you, thank you, thank you. And we seal it now by saying, and so it is. Thank you for being the fellow travelers on this journey together. I love and bless you all. And so it is. Thank you so much.